the first backtesting session, and I've chosen my Wednesday trade opportunity from my 4+1 point checklist development, and I would like to go over it a little bit more in detail. To give context, I originally wanted buys up around about the same area. However, we got stopped out. I had a minus 128 pip loss this week, and that was the trade position. Sorry, that's the wrong one. And this is the first time I'm using my backtesting tools. So if I just go over and run down my checklist, what do I have? Well, we've got the current ranges that have been filled here. It took me a while to try and figure this out, but we do have range based off of the 5, the 1, the 30. It all made sense, right? The only thing that doesn't really scream so much clarity for me right now is the liquidity areas. I would typically be looking for price to retest this area down here. That's my initial belief that price action should retest 836. But actually, if we look at narrative and context, the 4-hour candle to validate you into this makes a lot of sense, and I'll dive deeper in a second. If we look on the time frame narrative with the ranges, we typically do see price action here at the 4647 areas start to print some form of rejection upon the hour, upon the 30, upon the 15. They all say the same thing. There's the 30 candles, then you have the 15-minute time frame. It is a little bit laggy here. I'm trying to fix this. And then you can see here we've got another range below the range that we filled for the current range that we're in, which means that we're determining this as a stop loss placement at 3.6. That's the range below. We always try and find the next range below as your logical stop loss placement, and your TP is your next available TP above, not TP, next available range above. So we've identified the current range that we're trading in. We've identified roughly a liquidity area, which I'm expecting to be in this area, which you actually have tapped. So what are we mirroring? Well, mirror price action is what we have to the left of the screen. So left of the screen, we had price come down. We've got price coming down. Price action should respect this area here, which it does, but it hasn't validated. And you're looking to grab basically this piece of the market again between 3.6 and 6.5. So when I'm looking at this portion, the only thing that we need to align now is your narrative and the retest of highs or lows, which I'm still depicting whether it should be a mandatory thing, so that would be a fifth point of the checklist, or keep it as a 4+1. Based on this week's performance, go and watch it, by the way, and it's in your Notion from the 21st till the 23rd, which is just basically all of this stuff: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and the Sunday recap for tomorrow as well, 25th. We've developed, well, actually, it was a Friday session, whether retesting lows or highs is mandatory, and it pretty much is. It just matters which kind of time frame you're on. If this will load. So we actually originally wanted a full retest towards this bottom wick, which was your higher time frame. That's the hour, the 4-hour lows, and the 30 lows. Actually, it was the 30 and the hour lows. And we actually only needed a retest on the 15-minute candle breaking structure. So this was your 15 bottom wick. Price action on the next 5 pushed you down, rebroke and challenged the lows, so you're ready to start pushing up, right? It's all part of that move. So now we've already developed that. We're just trying to see in the next week if that's really mandatory or if that was a one-off occasion. So coming back to the main focus, which is backtesting this position, what we see is price action has rebroken your 4-hour candle. So your narrative is actually the 4-hour candle opened. Price action, if we can find it. I'm still getting used to these tools, by the way. Oh, what is going on? Price action came down, so the 4 hours coming down. Your 1-hour time frame looks good. Your 30-minute candle looks good, it's coming down. And your 15-minute time frame, what does it do? Comes down, validates this area. We're looking for retests of the lows, which you do get again. So if we pay attention to the time frames here, your 4-hour candle opens, you've got your bottom wick, you pull back up, and you retest the bottom wick. So now you've been given the retest towards this area, and you've given me the validation. Now, if price action closes above, I'd be interested in my buys up. So in this scenario, what I will be looking at is for price action to give me a validation to enter. And what has price action done here? You've opened up, you've closed respecting, price action pushes up, you've given me a bottom wick, or no bottom wick, sorry, no bottom wick bearish candle closure on the 1 minute time frame. That is at 219. So that means your 220 candle you're expecting to push up. So your 5 minute has actually given you some form of reversal indication. So you'll be looking to execute your position here on the 1 minute time frame. Your 5 minute makes sense because you're getting an original wick fill anyway. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to take the trade position. Now we have to scroll all the way back because we don't have premium, so I'm using this tool that I have. We're entering the position here. Your advantage point is going to be set towards your next valid resistance level that we have, which should be around this area. So you're looking at an advantage point right here. And that would sit me at around 55 pips into profits. Price action then should retest this area to start pushing up, which it does. So now this requirement that we have in the top left, the current range, the liquidity area, the mirrors, the narrative, and the retest of the highs and lows all made sense. Now, this is a textbook trade position. Price action goes advantage point. You're looking at risk off the table. So you're looking at original is a 1.63 risk reward. You'll be moving risk off the table. Price action now pushes up. You're securing your 165 pips. And my TP placement makes sense because the next logical resistance on price action is this target. When we look towards even just the 5 minute time frame, what we typically see when we're mirroring price action is that we always see taps towards this area. And I was making sure when I'm looking at validating my take profit area that we want to be as conservative as possible with my take profit. I don't want to be so aspirational with getting the proper wick grabs, but I want where most price action rejects. You need a solid wick to start pushing you up, which it does. And that's the most recent range that we have. So yes, this would be the actual trade outcome had I taken it. And it's actually a really, really solid position entry. I can even see here actual trade position, rebroke the lows first before finally rallying up. It needed a confirmation on the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour before moving, which it did. So this is exactly the position that I would have taken. And my TP is at 48.70. This one is at 48.63. And that actually makes more sense at 48.63 because if I review Wednesday's trade, I think this was also the trade position that rejected just before the TP. So now I can start to see my learnings come together pretty quick. Yeah, because my TP was at 48.70 and we rejected at 48.68. I'd like a little bit of confirmation first. And this is the example. See, I've posted it 21st of January 26. This is the trade position. Price action, as you can see, would have pulled back and rejected my full TP. And this is where now I'm starting to piece together this with the range. That's a really solid first breakdown of a backtest session. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll leave it at that. This checkbox works, the methodology works, the process works. It's now trying to understand the liquidity areas better and understanding that actually you don't necessarily need price action to validate. You need price action to build narrative. And in this case, you had the 4 hour time frame giving you narrative. You gave the validation with a rebreak of the lows, and that was your retest. So that's what validated the trade position, and I'm pretty happy with that outcome. It's a pretty solid backtest session. More to come.